When we talk about James Heller and his daughter having resilient DNA in prototype, we need to first understand one key idea. What is resilient DNA? Now, this isn't some official sci-fi term, but the concept is real. In biology, resilience basically means one thing. A system gets damaged, and then it recovers. That applies to DNA too. Your DNA is not fragile the way people think. It's constantly under attack. Radiation, viruses, even normal cell activity can damage it. But your body has built-in systems that fix it. Cells can actually repair broken DNA strands and restore them so everything keeps working normally. There are even complex repair systems where DNA can rebuild itself using a backup copy of its own structure. So when we say resilient DNA, what we really mean is this: DNA that can take damage and still come back. DNA that can adapt, repair, and keep functioning even after something goes wrong. And it goes even deeper than that. Biology doesn't just repair, it adapts. Cells can actually change how genes behave depending on the situation, helping the body survive new conditions. So resilience isn't just about fixing damage. It's about surviving it and adjusting to it. Now take that idea and push it way beyond normal biology. That's where prototype comes in. Because the Blacklight virus doesn't just repair DNA. It weaponizes resilience. And that's exactly why characters like James Heller and even his daughter are so important. Because if their DNA is different, if it's more resilient than normal, then they're not just survivors. They're something the virus can't easily break. And that's where things start getting interesting. Now here's where a lot of people get it wrong. They look at Alex Mercer in Prototype and believe he had to die in order to become a Blacklight infected. And because of that, they assume the same thing should happen to James Heller. That Heller should just die and the virus takes over. But that's not how Blacklight actually works. Because Blacklight is not a normal virus. We're literally told its purpose. It was designed to copy, combine, and rewrite genetic structures. And when it infects someone, it doesn't just kill them. It goes inside the cells and reprograms their DNA, activating parts that were never active before and changing the entire organism. So this isn't like other fictional viruses. Not like the T-virus from Resident Evil that just turns you into a zombie. Not like the Scourge virus in Invincible that just corrupts and destroys. Blacklight is different. It doesn't just overwrite. It rebuilds. That means when Heller gets infected, the outcome isn't fixed. It depends on how the virus interacts with his DNA. If his DNA is strong, resilient, compatible, then instead of dying, he becomes something more. Which is exactly what we see. Now here's the second key point people miss. Alex Mercer in Prototype 2 is not the same as he was before. Because at some point, he consumed Elizabeth Greene. And that changes everything. Greene wasn't just another infected. She was the original carrier, the source of the red light strain. She could spread the virus, control infected, and basically shape how it behaved. And when Mercer absorbs someone, he doesn't just gain their strength. He gains their knowledge and biological traits. So by consuming Greene, he gains something huge. Better control over the virus itself. That means by the time we reach Prototype 2, Mercer isn't just spreading infection randomly. He can decide how the virus behaves, how lethal it is, who survives, who evolves. So when he infects Heller, it's not accidental. It's not uncontrolled. It's a choice. And that completely flips the original assumption. Heller didn't survive because he got lucky. He survived because his DNA was strong enough to handle it, and Mercer allowed that outcome to happen. So instead of Heller should have died, the real question becomes, why did Mercer let him live? Because once you understand how Blacklight actually works, survival isn't random anymore. It's intentional. Now this is where everything clicks together. Because the Blacklight virus doesn't stay the same. It's constantly changing, constantly learning, constantly adapting based on the people it infects. We already know that Blacklight rewrites DNA, but it also evolves through experience. Every time it infects someone, every time it consumes biomass, it gathers new information and adjusts itself. That's why Mercer keeps getting stronger. That's why Heller develops abilities Mercer didn't have. The virus is literally upgrading itself in real time. And James Heller is the perfect example of that. When he gets infected, the virus doesn't just turn him into another copy of Mercer. It adapts to him. His DNA is described as resilient, which means he doesn't lose control, doesn't lose his identity, and doesn't get overwritten. Instead, the virus evolves around him. That's why he gains new abilities. That's why he can resist control. That's why he becomes something different. So what does that mean? It means Heller isn't just another infected. He's an evolved version of the virus itself. A better version. Now take that one step further. His daughter, Amaya Heller. Even though she's not infected in the same way, she still carries his DNA. And if Heller's DNA is already compatible, already resilient, already capable of handling Blacklight without breaking, then Amaya represents something even more important. She's the next step, because evolution doesn't stop. It builds. Blacklight started with Greene. It evolved with Mercer. It adapted with Heller. And with Amaya. It has the potential to become something even more stable, even more controlled, even more perfect. So when you look at it like that, James Heller and his daughter aren't just survivors of the virus. They are the best version of it. The version that doesn't lose control. The version that doesn't break. The version that can carry it forward without being consumed by it. And that changes the entire story. Because now the virus isn't just spreading. It's improving. And when you put everything together, the picture becomes a lot clearer. People assume Blacklight works in a simple way. You get infected, you die, and the virus replaces you. That's what happened with Mercer, so it must happen to everyone else. But that's not true. Blacklight was never meant to just kill and replace. It was built to rewrite, combine, and evolve DNA. It adapts based on the host. It changes depending on what it's working with. That's why James Heller didn't die. His DNA was strong enough to handle it. And Mercer, with full control after absorbing Elizabeth Greene, didn't just infect him randomly. He allowed Heller to become what he became. Then the virus keeps evolving. Through Mercer, through Heller, through every new form it creates. And instead of breaking Heller, it improves itself through him. Which leads to the biggest point of all. Heller isn't a copy-paste version of Mercer. He's not just another infected. He's an upgrade. And Amaya, she represents something even more important. Not infection, but compatibility. A future where the virus doesn't need to destroy the host anymore. Where it exists with the host instead of replacing them. So the real takeaway is this. Blacklight isn't just a virus. It's a system that keeps improving itself. And by the time it reaches Heller and his daughter, it may have finally reached a form that doesn't just survive, but actually works perfectly with human life. And if that's true, then the scariest part isn't the outbreak. It's what comes after it. And that's where we're gonna wrap this up. What started as a simple question, why didn't Heller die, turns into something much bigger once you really look at how Blacklight works. This isn't just a virus that kills people and replaces them. It learns. It adapts. And with Heller, it might have finally gotten it right. If you made it this far, let me know what you think. Do you see Heller as an upgrade over Mercer? And what do you think Maya's role could have been if the story continued? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe for more deep dives into game lore like this. Until then, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.